Again with Money Manager Media, and today we are looking at the Lapeef Let's Talk show. This is going to tie into another video that I've already done. So I saw the title, and I just started watching the first few minutes. I was already like, oh boy, here we go. So remember, gender war is dumb. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, and you guys, we'll see where we're at. Let's get it going.
Ding, 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 ding.
You muted, JR. You muted.
Okay, so already we can see the topic scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Uh, can a man make a woman happy without money? I want to hear what the panel has to say first, and then I'll come back with the summary.
Okay, I'm going to Bruiser, then Curse for life. Bruiser, can a man make a woman happy with no money?
No, he can't make her happy with or without money. Period. A woman's happiness is unquenchable thirst. A woman's happiness changes with her feelings. And when her feelings change, her happiness changes. You can be the Tom Brady of the world, you can be Steph Curry. Once she decide that she unhappy, she bouncing. It don't matter if you give her the world.
Unfortunately, that is 100% true. Money is not create happiness. It can make things. It can solve some problems for you for sure. It can solve a big chunk of problems, but at the end of the day, uh, it can't make you happy. It's a good down payment though. All right.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you lost this fuck.
All right, Siobhan, I'm going to go to you after Curse for life. Go ahead, Curse for life. Can a man make a woman happy without no money?
I think it depends on the woman, but ultimately happiness does come from you yourself. But
100%. You can't wait for somebody else to make you happy, especially if you're expecting the man with money to make you happy, because there's only so many resources out here. So if you're in that situation, then what if that you never meet that guy? You're just supposed to be unhappy for the rest of your life? That does No, that doesn't make sense.
most women want things. I can't speak for everybody, but most women like a man with money. Um, it really just depends on the woman. But some women are okay with being with a broke man or being with a man who may want to go 50-50. Some women are okay with that. Some women absolutely not. So I guess it just depends on the woman.
Okay. Siobhan, I know you disagree with Bruiser. Can a man make
Yeah.
a woman happy without no money?
Um, so this kind of goes back to what I said about the $40,000. Like $40,000 is no money, okay? And you just can't live well and be happy. When a woman is stressed out,
Okay, so I'm gonna have to insert another card in here because I reacted to another video where she was in, and they were talking about, I think it was called 47,000 is not enough. Now, if I remember correctly, this lady Siobhan, she lives in the same city that I do, in the same state that I do, and she's. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know this lady. But sometimes she says some things that are very questionable. Like for instance, $40,000. That's not a lot of money. But yet and still in the state that she lives in, that's higher than the average income. So if her standards are that high, that it is what it is. But I guess that's just her perspective. She says it's not enough. I guess it's not enough for her. But there's plenty of people that are getting by. I want to. There's another point that needs to be made about income, and let's let the conversation. Let's see where the conversation goes, because this is. I think this is definitely a high level conversation. I don't think it's going to get there on the show's end, but I'm gonna bring up some stuff there because we gotta start peeling back the layers on this stuff.
about bills and how the kids are gonna go to daycare and who's putting the presents under the tree. Like that's a lot. And when our well, as a woman, if you're happy and then your children are happy and you guys essentially have the world, whatever that is, it involves money. And comfortability makes people happy. So I personally couldn't, me personally, I just could not be happy without enough money, essentially, right?
Then that makes you wonder. Then is she happy now? Has she ever been happy in her life? I mean, according to what she just said, probably not. Because if she's looking for a man who brings a certain level of income, that kind of dictates that, and she's expecting that to make her happy. Well, it kind of suggests that you're not happy now, and nor have you ever been. Which then you got to ask, and how, if you've never been happy before, how do you know that having those things is going to make you happy? I still agree with Courage for Life. You got to be happy. You're responsible for your own happiness. Nobody else is. So you sitting here waiting around for a guy to come in with a certain amount of money to make you happy seems kind of. We're gonna move on because I'm not gonna say that. So yeah.
Because I like living comfortable. I do. And of course, we have our idea of what makes us happy. There are things that I have to love myself first and be happy within myself by all means. But we
wait, wait. You gotta love yourself and make yourself happy. But you're saying that the guy can't make you happy without having money. So which is it? You know what? There's. Let's see if somebody catches that, because that was like pretty blatant. It doesn't look like anybody's catching it right now, but you know, I don't know. We'll see.
we also have to take into accountability that in order for us to sustain that happiness and to be in a good space every single day, it involves money. And if you don't have any, just sucks.
All right, go to B Taylor.
Nobody said anything. Wow.
So can a man with no resources make a woman happy in the long run? No. There's no, when Siobhan said about the 40K a year, I disagree, just because it depends on the age and what city you live in. Because there are a lot of men who are probably in their 20s or late 20s, just now getting started in their career.
Yeah.
And reality is, not everybody's starting off making six figures. Not everybody's an influencer. Not everybody has their own business. So I give credit to the men who are making 40K a year and have a plan to make more. Not potential, but actually working towards that goal. So I want to give credit to those men, because I think they get a lot of slack already. What I can say is that in the long run, as the economy moves up, you do need to make more, because.
So here's the thing. I spent 5 years in financial services, right? As a licensed coach. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, men reach their peak earning potential after 40. So that's a little misleading when we ask what's the average income. Because again, most people don't hit their stride until after, most men don't hit their stride until after 40. So it's literally like that 42 or 42 to 50. Actually, I think it's like 35 to 50. That number can be a little misleading because, again, when do men hit their financial stride? It takes time to build up that kind of income. You don't just start. Most guys, it's just like she said, most guys are not going to start that in their early 20s. That's just not realistic. But look, we're gonna keep it going, because at the end of the day, that none of that really matters. Because what I'm not hearing from them is a man. They're not talking about a man of character. They've never mentioned character. So it's literally, it leaves it open to interpretation that, well, this guy can be an asshole, and it won't matter because he's got the money, so he's gonna make you happy. This is yeah, we gotta. Well, maybe somebody else is gonna say something, because right now it's just yeah.
Because how are we going to build a family? How are we going to buy a home? How are we going to, live a simple? It's okay if you want to live a simple lifestyle. It doesn't take much money to live a simple lifestyle. So it just depends on the woman. If you have a woman that wants a man to support a certain lifestyle, then don't get with that woman. But
Okay, 100%. Now I'm now this conversation just jumped up to another level. B. Taylor mentioned something that's very powerful. If you see, this is all about the vetting process, especially for men. If the woman that you're vetting, if you notice that she requires a certain lifestyle, if she's high maintenance, you might want, and that's not something you're looking for. It's above your pay grade. Dude, go find somebody else, man. Go find somebody else. Another thing that should be noted is, we mentioned this before about geographical location. Yeah, that matters. I mean, if you're a down to earth guy and you live a low key lifestyle, or you're a minimalist, urban cities are probably not going to be a good place for you to live at, or a good place for you to start searching for a potential mate. Just saying, you're going to find, I mean, move further out into the suburbs, you're more than likely going to find a lot more people who agree with your lifestyle. Just throwing that out there. But also the incomes start to go down too the further away you move from urban areas, because the cost of living is lower. So we got, again, that has to be part of the conversation.
there's a lot of women who are okay with a simple lifestyle, a small home, a comfortable home, and she'll make it home. Maybe one kid, maybe
Yeah,
even two, and limit it to
exactly.
that. It just depends where you live. But I do think that a man needs to have resources, because a man's identity is tied to his income. So if he's not able to provide in a way for his family, then he's not going to be the best man that he can be. So I think it is important to a woman, because he's not going to be the best man that he can be if he cannot provide for his family.
At some point we also need to have a discussion about, is there a difference between resources and money? I think that's part to whole there. Money is a resource, but then that would insinuate that there are other resources besides money. So is it the resources that a family needs, or is it just the money? I would argue that it is the resources, because if money became meaningless, all of a sudden the apocalypse happened and money, and nobody care about money, and all of a sudden food is a major resource, then yeah, you better be going out and bringing home the bacon, literally.
But B. Taylor, do you really
More ads, yay! 3, 2, skip.
think that, and you talked about the economy, right? And we all see where it's going, right? Interest rates are up the roof. Do you really think that somebody can get a house, whether it's small or not, with $40,000?
100% you can. Yeah, you can. The again, we had the conversation about net worth, and I will put a link in the description for that video, because the reality is that your income is just part of the equation when it comes to home ownership. But again, the biggest part of that is going to be, where are you living at? Because again, if you're trying to live in an urban city, you're trying in the middle of midtown or downtown or whatever, probably not. No, but that doesn't exclude you from buying a home. Again, Siobhan's comments are. I'm starting to get an impression that maybe she has little experience when it comes to actual finances, because it's just that her comments seem to. Again, financial services have been there for 5 years, a lot, and I sat down with a lot of people who have a similar mindset as to her, and a lot of times, you have to. A lot of times, you have to break people's feelings with some uncomfortable truths, and okay, we're not gonna get it because we're getting off topic. Let's get back to the video.
It will obviously need two incomes. It would need two
Yeah,
incomes, but that's
two.
the reality in today's world, that a lot of people need two incomes to survive.
Right. But with resources, a lot of people aren't allotted those opportunities to even be able to get to those resources. So how is somebody that thinks that 40,000 is probably a lot to them, when it comes to other people, it's not a lot, and you can't sustain with $40,000?
There's some people who is making way less.
Okay, this is just getting. She's just starting to look naive now. Because again, I told you, unless I'm confused, I'm pretty sure she lives in the state of Georgia. Yet most people in the state of Georgia don't make 40 grand. yet they still living, still surviving. So you start to come off as being, yeah, okay, we're gonna keep moving.
Less than that, and they're surviving.
Yeah,
So-
but people don't want to survive though, sis. Like people.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying
I mean,
that
is it the man? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that nobody's celebrating making 40K a year. That's just some people reality. And that doesn't say that they can't move up to make more, you know, but when we knock a man that's like, man, I'm so proud. I was making 28,000 this year and now I'm making 40. And then you hear women say, you ain't da 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 da. That's so discouraging, because I would hate to be a man in today's society knowing that I'm trying to, you know, bust my ass to provide for myself and my future family, and I'm steady getting knocked down. So I don't like that narrative. But I do agree that a man should never just want to stay in that position or think that 40,000 is the standard and normalize it.
And see, now this actually speaks to it's like Bruiser's point, is that, yeah, the thirst for happiness is insatiable. It's never, the reality is you're never going to have enough income or enough money. It just is what it is. But now here's the other part of that conversation, because and one of the things that men have to come to, you have to come to a conclusion at some point that, okay, where I'm at right here, this is good enough for me. Yeah, I could get up here, but the sacrifice that it takes to get there, that might not be worth it. Every man has that point. It's a point of, it's a point of diminishing returns. It's like, yeah, that's not worth the effort, because the higher you go in income, the more responsibility you get, the more time you have to devote to something too. I mean, let's not forget about that. It's just, you think, you know, you're going to go make $80,000 a year and think you're going to work 40 hours a week. I mean, that's not realistic. You know, but that's something that we never talk about. And then, from a relationship standpoint, you think a man like that is going to be around, like, at that income level, you're not going to see him that much. Why? Because he's going to be working. Chances are, when you make that much money, you working 6 days a week, sometimes 7. So, I mean, you have to know what you're getting into. But again, that's why high level conversations become so important, because we need to start breaking down what these things actually mean. When we say that this, that, you know, can a man make a woman happy without no money? It's like a double negative there. But can he make a woman happy with no money? Well, I mean, if the woman can make herself happy and she's not rich, it would assume I think it's safe to assume that the answer is yes. It just depends on what that person is looking for, what the woman is looking for. It's funny, I haven't heard anybody really say. I think Curse for Life may have said that, but it depends on the woman and what she's looking for. If you're like Siobhan and you're looking for a man with money, then no. And I kind of agree with Bruiser there. If you're dealing with a woman like that, I would say move on, because she's looking for a man to leave with his wallet. And I already told you guys what happens when that wallet is no longer available. I mean, we saw that 2008 housing market. You know, you're a real estate agent, and in 2006, 2007, you're making $130,000 a year. All of a sudden, 2008 happened, and you made $10,000. If you're with a woman who you haven't married yet, and you were leading with your wallet, that's a big jump. That's a big cut in income. The way women are today, a woman like that, I have my doubts that she actually stuck around and waited for you to get back on your feet. So, you know, that's why I always say lead with character, because no one can take your character away without a fight. It just is what it is.
It's just the statistic and reality that a lot of men are making that amount of money.
Isn't that the average income in the U.S., like 45 or something? Am I wrong?
Average income is like 55.
It's 50, yeah, it's like 50. I think the last I seen was like 56 or something.
No, it's not. It's amazing what accurate data can do. Now they probably didn't know because, to be fair, they're in the middle of a show and they can't go look it up, and so you kind of just have to go off the top of your head. But no, the average income is not that high. Average income, because if you go by state, nah. Like people who are, well, I would ask you guys to go ahead and look up your income by state, what the average income in your state is, because I know here in the state of Georgia, 31,000. Yeah. So yeah, and I think the state of New York was at about 37,000. So we can talk these big numbers, but the reality is, if you go state by state and the average income, people aren't making money like that.
Something.
Oh, it's gone up since last time I checked it. Because I'm just thinking, you mentioned own a home, like.
Okay, that's the end of that clip. I think I can hear Pearl still talking, but that's what the JR ended the clip. But look, go and check out the channel. They have sometimes, you know what, the quality of their show has gone up recently. So they're starting to have that was part of a high level conversation that they were having on the show. Like I said, the quality is recently going up, so I would expect more high level conversations from them, which means I need to start tuning back in, because for a while there I set out because it just devolved into the gender war, which we know is dumb. But I said I would be able to summarize some of the stuff that went on in there, and at the end of the day, we got to start bringing net worth into the conversation, because income is not a good measuring stick for how good someone is doing with their finances. Why? Plain and simple. Because I sat down with enough high-earning individuals to know that, 5 questions, you can break somebody's finances all the way down. And a lot of times what I found is that, yeah, they got a high level of income, but they also have high debts, which means their net worth is in the trash. Like I said, I've said this before, you'd be surprised how many people have a negative net worth of, negative 10, 20, 30, $40,000, but they make decent money. So they're thinking is, well, I make this money, so everything's okay. No, it's not. You also got to remember, from blackdemographics.com, average net worth, black person, $17,000. So no, you making $80,000 a year, but you $60,000 in debt, you're broke. And that was the part of the missing conversation that I wish somebody would have brought up, is because you can make all this money, but if you're still living paycheck to paycheck, which most people who are making $100,000 a year are, you're still broke. But this is also how we get women who think that $40,000 is not enough. Yeah, because you're $30,000 in debt, because you got student loan, you got the big four: student loan, car note. You got credit card payment, private loans, or doctor bills. You got all that stuff. Yeah, $40,000 ain't doing nothing. But all of a sudden, if you actually sat down, if we started focusing in on net worth, a lot of that debt would be gone, because we realize that every time you take out a loan, you lower your net worth. So yeah, if you're living debt free at $40,000, in a reasonable area, I'm not going to forget that part of the conversation, then you can actually make a living off that, especially if you have another individual that's coming in to helping you with a second income. I always said this thing, and you're going to hear me say this in another, and probably in the next video I do about money, is that if you have 2 incomes for a marriage, right? The first income, whoever the breadwinner is, man or woman, I don't care. Because at this point, we can't be picky about it. But whoever the breadwinner is, 100% of their income goes to lifestyle. That's paying the bills, paying the mortgage or rent, buying the groceries and everything like that. 50% of the secondary income also goes to that first category. The other 50% of the second income is used to clean up debt. And well, just leave it there for now. Just use the clean up debt. And once that's done, it's also used to fund your emergency fund and to start saving for retirement. So prime example, right? Let's say the breadwinner is making $50,000 a year. And then the second person is making 30, right? Because they're not, whatever, they're not working a lesser job or working less hours, whatever. But the point is that the 50,000 goes to lifestyle. The 30,000 gets divided in half. We add an additional 15 to the 50, so now they're living off 65. But now they got $15,000 a year to clean up all, the big four that I mentioned. $15,000 a year to a car note. There's no way you should be paying a car note for 6 years. You shouldn't have a car note to begin with. You should be paying cash for your cars. Don't go in debt on things that go down in value. That's just dumb. But $15,000 going towards that cleans up a lot of debt. And then you got to think about, okay, well, $15,000, 15 grand will usually cover probably a couple months worth of emergencies or no income. So now you got your emergency fund, and then contributing $15,000 a year towards retirement. See, this is the kind of stuff where as men, this is the kind of stuff we'll acknowledge that we need so we can start planning for the future. Because a lot of times what's going on now is that women are saying that, well, men they don't have any direction, they don't know what's going on, they're not men anymore. A lot of that's related to the fact that we don't have a financial game plan or a plan of what to do with our money once we start making it. So look, I'm gonna leave it there because I got to put together this money video because that's a great topic and we do need to cover it. High level conversations, again, that's always the goal here, right? So I'm gonna stay ghost till the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, but do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.